No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we are in here with the one and only Dorrough. How you doing, man?
What's up with it, man? I'm good.
I'm excited to have you in here, man. There's a lot of people who, like everybody knows the music, but I feel like there's a lot of people that don't really know your actual story. And when I was researching for this, I got very involved with a lot of the classic music from that era and stuff. So it was enjoyable getting ready for this.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, a lot of people know the music, but the story it got to reveal, so that's part of it.
So let's talk a little bit about your early days. You're originally from Dallas, or did you move there at some point? Okay.
Born and raised Dallas, went to school, played ball, Lancaster,
a real baller. I was listening to an interview with you. You were rating everybody in the rap game's basketball skills.
Yeah. Now I'm real with it, man. I'm still, I still got some people that's on the list that, get hit with the real skill. You got the rap hoopers, then you got the hoopers, and then you got the in-between, which is me. Like, I rap and hoop, but then you got some people that rap, and they say they can hoop, but I can see that they really can't hoop. But if you just see some stuff that they do, it look like they can hoop. Yeah, so...
Because, I mean, it's very, very rare that somebody could be really fire at basketball and then also be all right at the rapping thing. Obviously, every basketball player is kind of like a fan of the rap scene, and they want to take part, but it doesn't always work out too well.
Yeah, now they go hand in hand, but, over the years, through a lot of, like, celeb basketball games, the real ones know the truth. Like, the real ones know. Like, even from, like, the Chris Browns and stuff, like, real baller, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to just a lot of different stuff, and we, of course, we talking about the real hoopers that rap. Like, obviously, I ain't finna be talking to no NBA player, because the NBA player gonna look at it, be like, nah, they ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Shaq got some bars.
Yeah, well, Shaq, homie, who got some bars that also hoop is Portland, Damian Lillard. Yeah,
okay.
Homie, I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? You can
respect it?
I respect it, you know what I'm saying? It's some of them I respect, from the ones I hear, but...
Did you your whole childhood, was that like your entire thing, was just being obsessed with the sport?
It was like bowling was my number one, you know what I'm saying? Hooping was definitely first love, you know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, that's what it was gonna be. And then I didn't realize that it was a lot of things that changed the passion of that once I got high school, when everything was happening, scholarship offers, and you know what I'm saying, a couple traumatic experiences happened that kind of changed my passion for it. You know what I'm saying? With me, it's all about the passion. Like, looking back now, if my passion stayed the same, I know I could have went that route, from that thing. But as time came, I actually became more passionate about music during that time, and it came to a point where it was like, I could do this or that, but music seemed more controllable. You know what I'm saying? Sports you could be the best thing, you feel me? You get hurt, you out of there. You know what I'm saying? You don't go in the right system, you out of there. You feel me? Coaching system, some college, you can be able to play the game, and that's just too much out of your control.
Right.
With music, you can control that more.
Right.
Feel me?
Like, I always think about if I had a kid and he was a talented athlete, and you want to nurture that as much as possible, but at the same time, even if your kid looks like he might be LeBron James, it's like you have to prepare them for something else as well, because it's so easy for that dream to just disappear.
Yeah, I mean, I can name at least 6 or 7 people off the top of my head that I know are better than 50% of the NBA that easily could been there and still go there, but for so many different other reasons it didn't happen. Like some of the things I'm talking about, they may got hurt at the wrong time. They might had like some happen and they had attitude issues right when they was getting things. The coaches didn't want them at that time. They got over that. It's too much, you know what I'm saying? But like you say, you feel me? You can be that and it cannot happen. And during that time, it resonated with me more I can control my destiny more with music, you know what I'm saying? Because even if you don't get a record deal or whatever, you can create your initial fan base from wherever you at, you feel me? And you can control that, you feel me? You can put out music. If you want to go perform, it's something you can do. Sports, it got to be set up, especially then, like, you got to have games set up, you feel me? So what do you do in between games? And you get what I'm saying? Well, now it's a little different because now they got social media, so you getting people that's blowing up from social media that's in the sports world, and they getting found by scouts and stuff from social media. That's a whole nother thing.
You might not be limited to the scouts in your area or the teams in your area because you're able to build. It's really exactly the same thing that happens to the rap world, where it used to be that you only had a career if you were able to work with a label, and now you can get popping on your own. It's kind of like that in sports too.
Exactly. Yeah, because think about this. Just say you in a small town somewhere, you feel me, that it ain't a lot going on, but you A1 at sports or basketball. You can literally, and today you can go to a local park and just go kill it. Somebody film it, put it on social media, and you can get found that way, and you can control that. Whereas if that was the case back then, you would have had to go somewhere across the country, wait till the season start. It's just a lot. You feel me? It's different.
What was the traumatic stuff that sort of went down while you were in high school that took away from your passion for the game?
Well, it was a lot of stuff I was going through internally, like family issues, stuff that was going on, just things like that just changed my perspective of life. That's what it really was. Stuff that some I spoke on in music, some of it I'm speaking on in some of the upcoming music, some of it, a lot of that be revealed through the art, but you know what I'm saying, basically stuff like that. Just things that changed my perspective of life at an early age during that time that made me just change my whole way I was looking at everything and doing.
Right.
And I was always doing music too. Like even when I was hooping, by the time I got to high school, I was already writing and rapping and freestyling this and that, but the passion wasn't there until certain things happened and it just switched. You feel me? And I went into that mode.
Do you feel like the same level of energy? Because like I know a guy who was he was like on his way to be a UFC fighter. He got knocked out real bad one time. The doctor told him like, you can't like ever do this again. Like you cannot get knocked out like this. He took all that energy like of this thing he had been working for his whole life and just turned it over to being a poker player, and completely like is one of the best in the world now. But I always thought that was interesting that he was able to take the passion he had for one thing and just completely move it over to something that was completely different. Do you feel like that happened with the music?
I mean, he just got the it factor, you feel me? Meaning that when you got it like that, wherever you apply that, you're going to go to the highest level with that. It's not really about
the thing. It's about the energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you the dudes you just described just got that. If he would, it don't got to be poker. It could have been name something else. You know what I'm saying? It would have been that. You feel me? That's what that mean. And obviously, you know what I'm saying, for him, his passion changed and applied it to something else. With me, I mean, it wasn't that, but the similar concept. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And I never really lost the love of basketball because it was a time where I couldn't even, when I stopped hooping, like I didn't even want to see basketball for like years. Like I hated it. Then I got over that, and then like now it's back a thing to me. You feel me?
Because you couldn't look at it without thinking about how you wanted to be involved in it.
Yeah,
you know?
And then you got a lot of people around you during the time that want, they saw the whole thing, so they wondering why you not going to that route. Boom, 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 and it was just a whole thing. But that was something I got past.
But so now you can be more of like a fan of the
now I can be a
game.
real fan of the game and watch it in a whole different way. I couldn't even watch basketball for years, like after high school, maybe 4 or 5 years at all, like. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But now, I watch it all the time. I try to catch it. You know what I'm saying? I just love watching it.
Definitely. Did you make it to playing in college, or did you not even go that far?
I got scholarships. By the time in high school, my senior year, you know what I'm saying, I was captain of the basketball team, all this, boom, boom, boom. A lot of people know this story. But I was already rapping. I was popular for sports, so when I started rapping, I kind of had like a fan base already. I was already rapping, putting out music. People was jamming my music. People was buying my mixtapes. I was selling it at school. The teachers, the students, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I was already counted that in my mind. I already knew I could do it. You feel me? Because I already had I had a fan base. I had a support system from the jump. So it was during that time where I just was like, this is way more controllable. Like I could go make some music. Next day, we was printing CDs. Next day, I'm selling 20, 30, 40 copies at school. To me, that was just that. Basketball was just too spaced out. It was like when the season going, boom. When the season ain't going, you just working out, boom, boom, boom.
You got to rely on all these teammates, and you didn't pick the teammates.
You got to rely. It's too many other counterparts. You feel me? And then at that time, I was able to compare and contrast and be like, with this, I'm able to do this right now, and it make me feel good. And I ain't got to think about stuff that I be thinking about. You know what I'm saying? That I was having issues with. You know what I'm saying? So I got into music, and once I got into that, the passion like went there fast, and once I got that passion in it, it wasn't no turning back. Like I knew early on that, you know what I'm saying, I told myself a day, like, I'm 2 feet in it, and you know what I'm saying, I was at FedEx, you feel me, like at 18, 19, and the last day when I walked out, like I was just 2 feet in it, you feel me, and I ain't never looked back since, and I knew that the passion was there. So all the stuff that I still had coming from the basketball side, because I was getting all type of stuff, it was just, didn't even care. You feel me? And I was surprised in myself that I was able to feel that way.
Right.
You feel me? Like I didn't think that I would be able to naturally feel that way. But,
Definitely. What year did you graduate?
05.
05. So you're sort of like, that's kind of like the prime time for like Texas's like explosion in terms of like all these underground artists just becoming like in the mainstream and shit,
Yeah.
whether it's Slim Thug or Paul
That's
Wall.
when they
or-
was popping. Yeah, you know what
Right.
I'm
They
saying?
had already kind
was,
of hit that level by the time you're
Oh
graduating.
yeah, they was already doing it. That's when you had Lil Flip them on fire. You know what I'm saying? So Lil Flip, the whole Swisher House movement on fire. Slim Thug, Mike Jones, Paul Wall. That's during that. That's when they popping.
Number one time where somebody who's like graduating high school that has something going on is thinking like, I can be that. Like I can get on that level now too. Yeah.
And it was the first time that it was happening for somebody like me that's in Dallas, not Houston. Everybody always associated, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, it was doable, you feel me? I was seeing people around me that was doing it, you know what I'm saying? And like Texas, Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Talking about the Tom Toms and Big Tucks, you feel me? And like, these are names that's prevalent today that was prevalent then, you feel me? That, like I say, when you see it, especially when you're in high school and that young, it makes it way more, you know what I'm saying, believable that you can do it. Yeah.
Definitely. So Big Tuck was like a local like hero to you at that time?
Big Tuck was that guy. Big Tuck was probably the reason, one of the main reasons I jumped off the porch to actually do it.
Wow.
You feel me? Like I was already fans of a lot of other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? My first favorite Texas rapper was Lil Flip. Like, but I liked the UGK movement. I came up through all of it. But when people like Big Tuck came out, that's when it was like, oh, this in the backyard for real. Like this in Dallas. And to me, it wasn't nothing harder than the shit that was coming out of Dallas.
Right.
Even comparing it to mainstream, it was just like, this is just what it is.
Yeah.
And I caught that energy, and yeah. So I was always the one and the type of person where like, I ain't gotta be influenced. Once I see something, I'm gonna rep what we are and where I'm at, boom, harder than trying to connect to whatever's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I saw it in Dallas, and it just happened, you feel me? So yeah, I would say somebody like Tuck and Tom, you know what I'm saying? And for the people who don't know who those people are, y'all need to get in tune with them.
If
you know what I'm
if you can listen to Southside the Realist and not say that is one of the greatest rap songs of all time, then you are severely misled.
That's the Dallas anthem forever. You know what I'm saying? It's a Texas anthem. It's a Southern anthem. It's a worldwide anthem. It's just something that's gonna last forever. You know. But see, this the thing though. That was like even later. Like we on Tuck and we on the mixtapes. You feel me? Like so that even came afterwards. Boom. And I remember when that song dropped. You know what I'm saying? I remember taking that on a CD. And putting that one song on the CD and riding around in the car and just jamming that for like about a week to 2 weeks straight when it first came out. You know what I'm saying? So, and like a lot of people that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying, in high school, we kind of like blew up a lot of people. So DSR was a group, you know what I'm saying? And like we was popping at our school, thanks to hooping and everything. We blew up DSR in our area the way we was jamming them, you know what I'm saying, and being real. Because there weren't a lot of people like that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like repping some stuff that's right there in your backyard until it's everybody else repping it. You feel me? So more people was on Houston, which Houston, you know, boom, boom, boom. But like, once I caught that way, I'm like, fuck that. This is what we jamming. We jamming at the games, doing it. We playing at the games, and our shit popping. So we blowing it up as well. You feel me? It just always had that pride, so.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like in that era where you came out, there was like such a big emphasis on a lot of like you're known for making like ridiculously catchy pop anthem ass songs. Like, was that always the direction that you sort of wanted to go in, or that you found yourself going in? Was like I can like really making big hits?
I learned that, you feel me? I started off as a mixtape rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was dropping mixtape, boom, 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 mixtapes, doing a lot of that and catching a lot of. So I went to HBCU.
Okay.
So I did go to PV, but I didn't go to Hoop. You know what I'm saying? By the time I got down there, I already had like the little attention with rapping, and I just saw like, look, I'm finna go down here and do my rap shit. You feel me? Like it's 7 and 1 girls to dudes. It's people all over the place. I see it. Boom, I'm finna go down and rap. We started throwing parties, all that type shit. So I was dropping a lot of mixtapes. Down there, you had people from Houston, Dallas, Louisiana, that whole little southern thing, all in one place. So you blowing up there is going everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Summer break, boom, boom, boom. So I was known. I had PV popping for mixtapes and that type thing before I was able to make singles. But what happened was, and what changed was, like I was popping for mixtapes and I had a buzz, I had a name, everybody knew who I was, they was fucking with me, they was fucking with my music, but I wasn't getting booked for shows. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted me to be at places, but I wasn't getting booked, I wasn't getting paid. And then I remember it was early on when the Dallas Boogie movement hit, you feel me? And it was the beginning of it. And like I was this rapper with all this buzz from mixtapes, but then it'll be like other rappers that'll have one song, no mixtape, no name, and the song will be big, and then they'll be getting booked for shows. You know what I'm saying? So that made me be like, damn, like okay, I gotta figure that part out. You know what I'm saying? And then I started getting with my, my producer, boom, 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 and I realized at the moment that I was gonna have to make singles. You know what I'm saying? And once I developed that skill, like that was something I put my time and energy to, and boom, and then it became that. You know what I'm saying? So I really became almost the opposite of what I started from. So I made a single, boom, and then I made another one, they just kept boom. And this is before Ice Cream Paint Job. I had like a lot of little stuff that led up to that, you feel me?
Right.
But the world gonna think that Ice Cream Paint Job was the beginning. It's a whole fucking story and movie that led up to just that one song.
Right.
You feel me? A whole bunch of mixtapes, a whole lot of little things that made me get to that song, you feel me?
Yeah.
So it was like that, you feel me? So I learned that, and then that happened, and then I just became like, okay, I got that, and that just kind of took off in that way. So let's just say when I even dropped my first album, like people had that in mind, but I really create more of the opposite, you feel me? I really create more of these other type records than these. I just know how to make those. At any given, if I really want to make that, I can make that at any time.
It's like two separate games. Like just writing verses or being a good rapper and then writing a hook is like two very different things. And we've seen tons of rappers who are good at one and not good at the other, or good at both over the years. And it's just kind of, you have to learn to be able to play both games, really.
You do, you know what I'm saying? And with me, it's just about where my passion is. Like, I just gotta feel like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do it. You feel me? Like, I don't play it. I don't play the game for the same reasons that everybody else play the game. If I wanted to do that, it would be too easy in my mind. You know what I'm saying? But I just be having to feel like doing certain stuff, and sometimes that can hinder. But but overall, it's just me. You feel me? So that's just how I am when it came to that part.
It's interesting because like these days when you're talking about having like, underground singles that were bubbling up and stuff before Ice Cream Paint Job, nowadays like the first time that you're a young artist that you have a song that starts bubbling up and it just goes online and everybody just sees this artist for the first time, that's like the first time that people get familiar with you, versus back then it was like you could have all these sort of like regional hits, but then it really felt like at that time that you weren't going to get the coast paying attention to your music unless you could have a song that was a big enough hit that it would get on the radio there, because this isn't like pre-YouTube, but it's like the very beginning of YouTube.
Yeah, it's the very beginning of everything, the internet, really, social media. And you're right, you feel me? It was just, that was it, you feel me? It was like you had to be able to make some shit to go like that to even be able to get in it. You know what I'm saying? And I started out the opposite way, and I had to adapt to that skill. You know what I'm saying? And it just became that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you consider using social media, whether it was MySpace at the time or YouTube or whatever, did you consider that like an important part of your career yet at that point, or did it take you a while for you to figure out that like, oh, this is starting to become the place where people are consuming my shit?
I was on fire on MySpace, bro. Like my page was popping. Everybody had, like, the girls had, and I ain't even exaggerating, they used to have Walk That Walk and Hale Berry on their page. You know what I'm saying?
The background music when you go to the page?
Yeah.
That was the wave for a while.
My shit was blowing up on my page, was popping, but I didn't really know what that meant. It wasn't a concept of viral yet. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't realizing that this shit was spreading out around the world, or at least the United States or whatever the fuck, But I was aware that my page was popping on MySpace. So I was aware I had a popping MySpace page when it came to music, boom, boom, boom. But I didn't know what that really meant, because that ended up turning into a whole lot. I even got discovered, like when it comes to like, I was doing mixtapes and, like the Ice Cream Paint Job, I put that on my MySpace, and a DJ found it on my MySpace and blew it up. So my shit really blew up from MySpace. But what changed my whole perspective of what viral was is I had never been to California. You know what I'm saying? My music from a mainstream level, if you want to say that word, blew up in California. I didn't blow up in Texas mainstream. I blew up in Texas underground, and that whole region underground. Like I wasn't mainstream in Texas. I was underground. You had to boom. But I blew up mainstream in Cali. and that became from MySpace. So when I started getting booked for shows and coming out to Cali, I didn't understand how people knew me, my face and all that stuff. It didn't resonate yet, where in this day and time, you will understand because you be like, it went viral, boom, boom, boom. It was just happening. So that was.
So your song started popping off on MySpace, and then was there ever like a DJ in LA or any people in particular that were really showing love that made like that you started getting booked out here, or was it strictly online?
DJ Amen from the Bay. He was in the Bay at KMEL. He literally went to my page. He used to always come to my page and get music because I remember like I had my Walk That Walk single popping and like it was he came and he had me send it to him. He was trying to blow it up in the Bay, but the tempo wasn't. He knew it was a dope song and he was basically like, I wonder if the Bay will fuck with this. And they kind of did, but not really. But you know what I'm saying? But then he would come when I put that on my page, he came and he single-handedly came to my page and got it. Had me send it to him, asked me was it original, all that, and I sent it to him. And like I about a week, 2 weeks later, about 2 weeks from that day, he said I got the biggest song in the Bay Area because he was on radio and radio was huge, and he had a spot where they come on. I think it was a weekend thing where you go hear new music, and he was like the first time he played it, it blew up. People was calling in, and that was a big thing, and it just went and like and it was in rotation in like a week. Or something like that, and it just blew up. Like it just went. You feel me? It wasn't even. And he was the one that found it. Him and then Big Von. Shout out to him too, because Big Von was the PD, you know, at that, and they just blew it up, and it went from there to L.A. and they blew up here at DJ Felly Fell. It was the #1 record in L.A. You know what I'm saying? And it blew. Once it blew up in L.A., it went everywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
When you wrote that song, what was your car collection like at that point?
It was the culture. I was rapping about the culture at that time. I basically manifested that. You feel me? Like I grew up in around the Texas, you know, all that, and that was just the culture around me at that time. I was like 19, 20, I think, when I wrote that song. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that was just the culture around me. So at that time, I wasn't rapping about my car then, but it ended up manifesting into that. You feel me? Was that like you felt like you had to go and make that? Was that first car purchase like really, really important because you're like, you know, I made this happen from talking about this? Yeah. All right. So when I first was like, I'm gonna go get it. It was that, but by the time I went to actually go get it, it wasn't that because by this time I was started doing so many shows and moving around that it really wasn't even that important no more. You feel me? That in a matter of a few months because I was traveling so much, never really was at home. At home maybe 1 day, 2 days out the month. You feel me? So. Yeah, it just was transition. It was just a transition. Yeah,
rappers like before they get popping would be writing songs about cars and houses, and then once they actually get popping, you could have a house and you barely ever even going to be there, and you can have a car, you're never going to drive it.
It don't feel the same, you know what I'm saying? But you start loving the other stuff, like just you know the journey. You feel me? The moving around, you know, creating the music, boom, 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 just that part. But yeah, you know. Yeah, it becomes like that.
Definitely. So yeah, like because there was a bunch of other stuff that had to happen before Ice Cream Paint Job, right? Because the whole Hale Berry saga unfolded before that. So where were you at in your career when that sort of situation took place? Because you were on the song and then the song was basically stolen from you. We could go through it. Not stolen, but it was appropriated by somebody else. Can we get that story?
That was the first time I felt a low when I was doing music because what people don't realize is is levels to everything, and you feel. So at that time, in my mind, I'm already popping a mixtape. Boom, my name is there. I'm doing shows. You know what I'm saying? I'm making money. I'm doing my thing. I know we ain't hit mainstream yet. I know that's the next thing because of how everything's moving. I got my Walk That Walk single is popping, but it's that was like a slow burning record that just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Where when we did Hale Berry, it blew up faster than that. But you know what I'm saying? But so during that time, I was already I was just in a space where I didn't expect that to happen. And when it happened, we felt the way about it. Like it was a big thing. It was a whole thing. Like that will be a story within itself that's huge. Because that was the first time I put a lot of work in that record. You feel me? I broke that record, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to what it takes to break a record at that time. And you know what I'm saying, it was a lot that went on with that. And when that was took away the way it was, it felt like a lot of things that I put together and put in energy was gone. But right away, as soon as that happened, the next thing happened. Walk That Walk blew up like that. It didn't want even no time in between. It was just a sign that happened. My record blew up, and then Ice Cream Train Job blew up. And to this day, I still, I get my royalties from the Hale Berry. You know what I'm saying? That's still 33% of my record.
But were you the only artist on the original Hale Berry record, or there were other people?
So dude, Superstar. So this
right.
the story. So I can only, what I'm saying, get this story out of the way.
Let's get the record straight.
Let's just
for
get
these
the Hale
people,
Berry.
yeah.
This is the story of Hale Berry. Hale Berry started at Prairie View University. Prairie View is a black HBCU. You know what I'm saying? I was popping. I was doing the mixtape. I was known for all the music. Boom, boom, boom. I had a group called Primetime Click. That was my group I started. My homies that rap, basically. And we had producers, boom, boom, boom. One of my producers that came into the Primetime Click situation later was just a producer that made beats. His name was Superstar. Made some hard-ass beats, you feel me? But as music, when you produce, at some point you gonna rap. A lot of people, well, not everybody, but a lot of people. But anyway, he made a record. He was from Killeen, Texas. That's an Army base. It's a small city, but it's a small influential city in its own way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an Army base there. He was from there, and he went to Prairie View. So he made the song. He was in my Primetime thing, and he had it going in Killeen, Texas. Long story short, I was approached with him and another producer named Q Smith, who co-produced the record with him when we took it to the next level, to put me on the record because I was popping. I was a nigga at PV. It wasn't gonna move at PV or Dallas or Houston without me on it. You feel me? That's just the marketing technique that they think. They like, we're gonna go to the road, put them on, and it's a rap. They did that. I heard it. I'm like, oh, this is way before. It's only popping in one place at this time. I hop on it, blow up at PV. Houston, I take it to Dallas, and see, Dallas at this time was the special city. This is when the Dallas Boogie movement was happening. I go to Dallas, and I'm in every club, every night, every day of the week in Dallas performing. I'm talking about Monday through Monday. I'm everywhere, and I'm really one of the only few people that's everywhere doing that. So I'm taking this song, because my Walk That Walk record was big, blowing up Hale Berry, and it blew up in Dallas, ended up getting on the radio, and it was a rap from there. And now the song is at this time, it's a huge Southern song that everybody know about. Long story short, Hurricane Chris Camp came. He needed a single. From what they were saying, he needed a single. Hurricane Chris needed a single, boom, boom, boom. Homie Superstar had signed a dumbass deal at the time with Playing Skills. Shout out to Playing Skills, shout out to Superstar, but he signed a weak deal that I didn't want to sign. Didn't make sense at all. Don't know why Superstar did it till this day. It was not smart. It still would have been a big hit to this day with Superstar and me on it at the same level. But anyway, he felt like he had to do the deal, did it. Boom, they gave him the record. Playing Skills dropped the ball with the record, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they did. Once they take me out, they did a remix. Threw Tom Tom on there, shout out to Tom Tom. Smart move. Took me off, put Hurricane Chris on the remix. The remix didn't move at all because everybody in Dallas and all the DJs were mad they took me off because I'm the one who blew the record up. And then they could peep that they was doing some fuck shit, so the record died like 100%. Now they scrambling and they had to sell the record. So they sold it to Hurricane Chris. Hurricane Chris got it, put a bag behind it, put it with the label, and they blew it up. And that's how it all happened. But I mean, paperwork was done. I still own 33% of the record to this day, boom, 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 publishing, all that. It was a big deal. We had a little beef at the time. But at the same time, it rolled over. My shit blew up right after that, Walk the Walk. I didn't give a fuck no more. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, that's the story. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a lot of things that happened. But the reason why that story is so important, because this is before mainstream. This is the road to get there. You know what I'm saying? That was a big part of everything happening. So in retrospect, when you're looking at it, it seems small, but it was huge. You feel me? At that time. And yeah, long story short. So I'm saying all this just to get the record straight, because I always got to do, every interview I got to explain this story, and I understand it's different platforms, so it's just like, boom. Hopefully I don't really got to explain it too much more. But shout out to Superstar, shout out to Hurricane Chris, all them, they doing their own thing, boom, boom, boom. And everybody that was involved with that record, you know what I'm saying? Q Smith, shout out to Q Smith. You know, Q Smith came and made the record a whole nother thing on the production side. So,
but you like that the Hurricane Chris thing, it wasn't like an issue between you guys for that long. Like, it was an issue, but then you got over it pretty quick.
Yeah, we was beefing. Like we had words. We man, let me tell you what.
But was it on some crazy shit, or was it just a little?
It was just on some time. We was young and not understanding a lot of stuff, and like it even got to the point where we had a radio show in Baton Rouge, and I'm performing. And I do my version because I didn't give a fuck. I was still performing, and while he was here, I was performing my version. Right. And we had a radio show where we both booked it, and I'm performing it. And like they had like they DJ trying like stop my music, or boom, 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 something happened. Man, I'm have some words, and Bebe was the mediator. Shout out to Bebe. Bebe was the mediator between me and Hurricane Chris. So we back in the little dressing room, and we had some words, you feel me? But at this time, it was like, damn, homie so small. Like I wanted to, like, at that time, I was like, I would feel wrong. But at the end of the day, we squashed that. We started seeing each other out here in LA. Once you have success, that shit don't matter no more. Right. That's what it really was. We started having real success. And then it's just like, what the fuck we tripping over there for? Like, and that's just what it was. And to this day, that's what it is.
Right. Yeah. How'd you feel when you saw it in the news that he got a new charge?
Man, I felt bad, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end, like I say, me and him got each other number. We done seen each other just at random little events and parties in LA, and we, you know, boom. So like it ain't no beef like that, you know what I'm saying? And it was never a beef to where I want somebody to get into like locked up or anything. And but I mean, I'm hearing actually good things. I'm hearing that like you know what I'm saying, he probably get off because it was some self-defense. I hope that's what it was, but it shocked me. You feel me? I saw it, and I don't really know too many details, so I can't speak on it, but you know, I hope homie get through the situation.
No, definitely. I mean, after all those years, especially, it's just got to kind of seem like water under the bridge. Like you guys were just young dudes experiencing fame and money for the first time.
Yeah, like we thought we was in a real beef at that time, but like looking back, that ain't no real beef. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it never seemed like it was gonna get super violent.
It did. It got some time. Like the when I'm talking about the Baton Rouge thing, I honestly think had Bebe wouldn't been there at that time, like, yeah, it would have, because I had people with me, he had people with him, and I was feeling the way, and I can't see it not happening because we was right there. But, you know, like I say, yeah, that was the only time. It wasn't like we trying to kill each other, but man, you know, it was just a different time.
I got you.
Yeah.
So then, Ice Cream Paint Job, when you're making that, did it seem like there was anything special about it, or did it just seem like a regular song that you're recording?
Man, so to me, when I recorded it, I was in my mixtape phase, and I always had this thing about me where I like rapping on up-tempo beats. I used to rap on, at this time, you remember what's that song that came out the Bay Area? It was about the shoes, the Vans.
Oh yeah, I got my Vans on and
that beat, like, so I did a freestyle on that beat on a mixtape, and I thought that shit was, I fucked with that shit so hard, but everybody fucked with my mixtape and didn't like that song because of the beat. Like, it was too up-tempo in Texas. So I told, that's when I was just like, I'm gonna do my own shit, the up-tempo shit, but Texas probably ain't gonna fuck with it. So I had to, I personally liked it. I didn't just say this was gonna be a big hit because I was in Texas and everything was slower. So, and that shit mattered at that time. You drop some shit that ain't in the tempo of the dance music and everything we was doing down there, they ain't fucking with it. That shit, Ice Cream Paint Job, was too fast.
That's so weird that you like are not from the Bay, but somehow your music was just resonating in the Bay faster than it was. They thought I was
from the Bay. They thought I was from the Bay because of that, you know, boom, and it blew up there. And 90 BPM is even today, that ain't really that fast, but that was fast, and that was more what the Bay was on. It blew up. So it didn't blow, Ice Cream Paint Job didn't blow up in Texas. It blew up in Texas after it blew up in Cali. You know what I'm saying? That had nothing. Motherfuckers weren't fucking with that. Even my DJ at the time he didn't think it was a hit like that. You know what I'm saying? I personally liked it, but boom. And yeah, it didn't dawn on me it was special until I started getting booked in Cali. You feel me? I'm like, oh, this is a special record. Like, this is even more special than Walk That Walk, which was a special record, and Hale Berry, which was another special record. And this was like, oh, this shit actually more special than them. That's how, so.
That's so crazy.
It was weird.
Do you start thinking at some point, like, man, I actually got a gift for writing these hooks? Like, it's just, you know.
Well, once I got, but it was before that. It was once I did Walk That Walk, I knew how to make it. You feel me? Like, I knew I could keep doing that. You feel me? Like, it was that. I had to learn how to make that record in my mind because I was a mixtape rapper, so I wanted to make a lot of fast shit and just drop a lot of shit. But I had to like humble myself and like come down and be like, I need to make a record. I need to learn how to actually make a record. You know, because I was getting tired of motherfuckers coming with one record and being popping, and I got all this shit going in the buzz, but I wasn't getting booked for shows, and I was like, fuck it, I'm finna learn how to make a single. So once I did that, y'all knew I could do it. You feel me? And you know what I'm saying? That's just what it became.
Right. And okay, so did you sign to a label early on, or how did that whole process work?
I didn't sign to a label until by the time I did a deal with E1, which is Koch Records, right. Independent. By the time that came in place, Walk That Walk was already huge, all over radio. Like I had already done everything, and Hale Berry was already huge. Boom, boom, boom. And they initially wanted to do a single deal, I remember, and then they caught wind the ice cream paint job by luck. They lucked up on that, and then they offered me an album deal, you know what I'm saying? And shit, I did it, you know what I'm saying? And matched it with independently what I got doing, and we just kind of partnered up and did what we did and made that happen. But yeah, that's when that came in place.
It's kind of crazy because you sort of came up during like the weird dark time for the music industry where they didn't know what the fuck to do with the artist.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, if you have a hit song, it's like you got every label fighting to help you make that song bigger and to fuck with your career or whatever. But at that time, the idea of like, oh, there's a kid from Texas who has like a couple of really popping songs and it seems obvious that he can make more. I mean, the labels just like didn't know how to make money off it, so they weren't like running to it like the way that they would be these days.
Yeah, exactly. That was a weird time because shit was transitioning and when nobody figuring out what was going on, like it was just happening at the time. So it was, I think that was the most that was just a weird time. You feel me? Because the internet was happening, didn't really know what it was gonna be, but it was there, but we was the first ones on it, so we understood it but didn't understand it. It was just a lot going on. It was just in a transition.
And how did this remix happen that featured, this is such a crazy list of rappers to be featured on the same remix, is Soulja Boy, Rich Boy, Jermaine Dupri, Jim Jones, and E40. So you basically have like the entire country, like you sort of like pick and choosing different people from every different region to sort of get on that together.
Yeah, that go to shout out to D Sonorum, the Sonorum from E1, man. He put that part there. By this time, but by this time, the song was so big that everybody was just doing verses to it.
Right.
So we really that kind of like was put together. I remember
they had all done their own remixes.
Oh yeah, like everybody like was just hopping on the song. I'm talking about everybody did a ice cream paint job verse. I'm talking about everybody. Right. So we were just like, well, shit, we can just put together a remix from that. So the song blew up and that happened, and you know, the first person who had did one was Jermaine Dupri. He hopped on it and then he exposed it some more, and then it just everybody did a verse.
That's so crazy because you think about like back in the day, I remember going to like rap blogs and you know, there would be a song, Ice Cream Paint Job or A Millie by Lil Wayne or whatever, where every day you would see 5 new rappers all remixing that shit. And it got to a certain point where it's like, I'm not going to just download a different person rapping over the same beat every day.
Yeah, that's how it was. That was one of those situations.
So what was that whole time period like? Because you seem like when you're talking about how you were in the club like every fucking night, pushing Walk That Walk and everything, it's like some rappers think like, oh, I'm blowing up, but I'm still going to kind of take my time with promoting this shit, or I'm not, like, it seemed like you kind of understood like, oh no, if this shit is cracking right now, then we need to be all over it and just doing everything possible to promote this.
Yeah, and that came because I was a mixtape rapper first, so I was able to feel the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to feel the difference between having a mixtape buzz and having a quote unquote regional or mainstream single buzz, and it was just a different feeling. So when I felt that, I'm like, boom, this I got it. This is the energy. Fuck it, I got to blow this shit up. Like I knew I had a hit when Walk That Walk, in that time and where I was in my mind, I knew I had a hit that just had to be exposed. So I didn't have a label, so I had to expose it myself. I had to go into every club and wherever people was to keep exposing it. And every time I did that, it just got bigger and bigger. Because once people heard and resonated, it was a wrap from there. So, you know, I kind of had to like, you know what I'm saying? I had to, that's like a guerrilla tactic, you feel me, to do it, you know what I'm saying? So I did that.
It's kind of crazy though, it's just like such a different thing when you're doing the mixtape thing and you're sort of in Texas, and like the idea of being a popular rapper in Texas at that time, especially like you didn't necessarily have to branch out outside of the state. Whereas like once you had that big radio single, then you start to feel like, oh, this is what it is to be successful. Like, did that completely change like the trajectory of how you were working on music and stuff? And did it feel odd to sort of have that song like come back to earth, and all of a sudden you're kind of doing some of the same things in Texas in terms of just performing there locally and putting out tapes or albums or whatever? Like, what was that process like as that song started to cool off a little?
Well, in Texas, music is different, and especially even at that time, it's like if you make something that's kind of like a classic, and it ain't no really dying down. Well, yeah, it's a dying down, but in that record was just something that was gonna keep going. But see, by the time it really got going, like what I was creating, I was already on to other music making. I was just like, all right, I'm boom, they fucking with it. Boom. I was already making other music that I was ready to put out, you feel me? But I knew I had to, so when it started dying down, you know what I'm saying, and then that's when the other record took off, and then, you know, it just kept on being like that. So I just kept myself busy, you know what I'm saying, and I was actually enjoying, I think the difference too is I was enjoying just the process of it happening. Like I really wasn't in a hurry, you feel me? Even, because it was times where I knew I could have done things and took deals and took situations that would have sped it up. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I just wasn't thirsty for that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have nothing, so I'm surprised that I wasn't, but I was just like, I'm cool, you know?
Because a lot of people in that position that you were in at that time would have been all over trying to, you know, click up with bigger rappers or labels or whatever, and just trying to like basically, like, did you not feel like did you feel like you were on a trajectory to try to like make yourself a giant rap star, or did that not really seem as important as just doing you?
Yeah, nah, I saw the vision. I wanted to go to that level, but I just knew I was just like, I'm gonna do it on kind of on my own. I was letting everything come to me. Like I believed in myself for real. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a fake, like I'm trying to make myself believe in myself. Like I just knew once I got to a certain, I'm like, I can do this and I'm gonna do it. So it's just about how I want to do it and when I want to do it, and just taking my time doing it while also learning too. Don't get me wrong, it was a lot I didn't have figured out. I really didn't have know what a lot of stuff was, but for some reason I was just cool with how it was going. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, I did have goals to, you know what I'm saying, take it to the highest level. That's in my mind, and so that's part of the process of even now. It's just boom, steps.
I know you got some crazy stories from that time period. Like I know that the fucking Nipsey thing was like a crazy connection that, well, it just seems crazy now given how he passed and everything, but you had this connection with him early on. Can we get that story, and can we talk about like just any other like crazy interactions or whatever was going on at that time in your life, like things that just seem insane that maybe you don't always get a chance to share with people at this point?
So Nipsey, you know what I'm saying, like the connection with me and Nipsey came immediately, you feel me? Like the first time I remember like just being at the crib, and the first time I saw Nipsey was they was shooting. He had did a video that came out, and he had rapped on a crisscross beat. He did he like remixed the
Jump.
Yeah, he had.
That was my favorite song when I was in first grade. Yeah.
Yeah. So he redid that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how boom. And for some reason, it just, when I saw the video, everything he was doing, a lot of the stuff that he was doing was resonating with me on how I was moving and doing it, but in a Texas way, a Dallas way. And that was the only artist that it made like that. And then when we met soon after that, once my music started popping, this was before my music was out, and then, you know, Ice Cream Paint Job happened, and you know, when Snoop got on the Snoop, actually, I thought Nipsey was Snoop artist because that's kind of how it was presented to me.
Right.
And then I remember D hit me up. He was like, "Hey, you know, Snoop want to know what you think about putting Nipsey on Nipsey Hussle. It's an artist named Nipsey Hussle." I was like, "Oh, I know who Nipsey Hussle." By this time I was on to him. A lot of people they was trying to introduce me and be like this. They trying to show him like, I already know who he is. I think homie dope. Let's do it. He wasn't a mainstream thing, so a lot of people didn't think that was a good move because he wasn't main. But I thought it was the best thing. I was like, I like him. You know what I'm saying? Homie from LA, boom. I already like this music. I'm on it, and I could see the potential, and I threw him on there, and I brought him out on the BET Hip Hop Awards.
Right.
You feel me? And he had never been on a mainstream platform, so I introduced him to a lot of people. But I did it from just thinking homie was dope anyway. Like, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? There was other people on the song, but it's just something I wanted to do.
Right.
You know, and then our connection started there, and we just had a natural connection. So we started seeing each other everywhere. You know, we did some songs, you know what I'm saying? He came, fuck with me in Dallas, you know, birthday parties. We would do shows at different places, and every time we met up, we had a moment. You know what I'm saying? We always chopped it up. I always talked. I always had good energy, and it was a me and him connection. Like so me and Nipsey connection. Just you know how sometimes it be through you have entourages and different. And I was just me and him personally. So I always had this connection, and I always saw each other, and it just kept growing over the years. So, you know, he just became homie. He just came bro from there.
Do you remember,
family.
Remember the last time you saw him before he passed?
Yeah, it was a month before he passed.
A month.
He was in Dallas. He came and did not even a show. He came and did a business seminar, like the first of his, imagine going to a city to do a show, but instead of doing a show, you doing a business seminar.
Wow.
And you bringing out people in that city, the youth that's in that mindset. And you getting paid for it, just like a show, but you sitting down like this, talking. And that's what he came to Dallas to do. And it was just about business, real estate, all the shit he was about. You feel me? He was teaching that, and he was getting paid for it. When he came to Dallas, I went there. You know what I'm saying? Support him and check him out, boom, boom, boom. And, you know, before he went and did the speech and the stuff he had to do, we was in the back room, just private moments, you know what I'm saying, talking about it. We was talking about that I was supposed to come to LA he had just built his new studio. He told me to come to LA to do his to come record, because I was talking about, look, I got this Texafornia project I'm working on, you know what I'm saying? We always was talking about doing the Texafornia thing. I'll bring it up, and he was gonna get on the song and the project, and he was just like, why don't you just come to LA and do it at my studio? So my next time to go into LA was gonna be that next month. You feel me? So it was already planned for me to go to LA and record with Nipsey.
Right.
And then this was literally a month prior to when it happened. And that happened, and then the next time I ended up going was for the funeral. So I went out there for the funeral and everything, and you know, and that was that. But you know, like I say, bro, you know, that was fam. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of love there, and you know, homie energy, spirit is here forever. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, yeah.
Yeah, when you see like the way he lived his life, and like there's always been this conversation since he passed about like doing a business in your local area and everything, like has that been, you know, and like sort of being that like local hero and stuff, and with him we saw how much you could do when you put yourself into that role. We also saw how dangerous it can end up being. Like what are your thoughts on being that sort of like fixture in the community in terms of hip hop or outside of that in the overall culture? Like, do you want to be that for Dallas, or is that too much to take on sometimes?
It ain't even, that's just who homie is. You know what I'm saying? And like, for me, it's parts of that, but it's also, for me, it's just inspiring. Because I know how, just like homie, he know the greatest act that you can do, whatever, is inspire somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in that, you feel me? So even for my city and this and that, I'm more about inspiring, and I come be hands-on, and I come boom, boom, this and that. But as far as feeling like I gotta do something, I don't feel like I have to do anything that don't touch my heart. And there's a lot of things that touch my heart that I'm gonna do and actually do, and do it in them times. But I don't got like a set up, boom, boom, boom. But that's who homie is. That's who he was, who he is, you feel me? So it's different, you know, and it's unfortunate that like that put a sour energy out there about people feeling like they shouldn't you know, be able, or they don't want to necessarily be what is it, go say the hood, say, you can do all that type stuff, which some of it's necessary, some of it ain't. But overall, you know what I'm saying, the way I look at it is everything he about is still impliable to what people should be doing. And even what I'm doing on a lot of different other levels, because that wasn't all he was about. A lot. His music was that, the way he moved, the business mind, everything. He was just you know what I'm saying, all around with it. You feel me? And that's just how I look at the situation. And overall, it was just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Just unfortunate.
Damn shame. Yeah. R.I.P. Nip. Okay, so at this point in your life, like, what are you primarily working on? Like, what do you find the most like excitement about working on in terms of, is it still primarily music, or like, I know that you signed Young Nation at one point and that was like a big thing for a while. We could definitely talk about that, but like, are you on the hunt for new artists? Like, is that something that you're passionate about?
I'm letting everything come to me. You feel me? If I see a dope artist and it come to me naturally, I'm fucking with it. But you know, producers as well. Right now, I'm fucking with more producers than artists. You know what I'm saying? But it's all around. You know what I'm saying? I'm more about like, number one is the music still. Number one, you know what I'm saying? Creating that and getting ready to put that out. Cause that's where I'm at, is getting ready to release all the music that I've been creating. You know what I'm saying? That's number one.
So you have a big project that you're super excited about on the way?
Projects.
Projects.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the type of thing that's hard for me to speak on, because it got to speak for itself. I can never tell you how something's gonna be like I want to tell you. So it's just the only thing I can be like, when it comes to the music and all that, it'll hit you when it hits you, and it'll hit you soon. That part. But the music is the thing. But it's a lot of other stuff too. You know, I'm getting into just a lot of stuff that makes sense with who I am and my brand and what I'm doing and what I'm passionate about, and it's all coming together. And probably the next time we sit down, you know what I'm saying, I break a lot of that down, because a lot of that's in the mix right now. But, you know, 6'3", you know what I'm saying, the new brand, the music, all that's primary right now.
That's how tall you are?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. So that means a lot to me off rip.
Yeah, well, so you got to rep it down.
It's a good height to be.
It's a good height. I'm about to give you a shirt.
It's a good height. You don't look like a freak show, like one of these 7 foot tall dudes, but you ain't no 5'9" either.
Yeah. Nah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
But nah, like where I'm at with it is new music, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing that I'm happy about is that I never lost the passion about that. You know what I'm saying? And the creating and putting it out, and just that part of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at now. Just giving the world a new music. You know, I got a new single out right now that we in the midst of shooting a video right now. It's a lot going on with that, but the new music, that's where I'm at.
Right. Did you ever feel like you were kind of at risk for losing your passion for the music, or like not seeing it the same way? Because over time you have to become, as you become super aware of what the music can do, it becomes kind of hard not to focus on the end result, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. You start, it's like having a power, realizing it, and then you gotta know how you want to use the power. You know what I'm saying? And if it was worth it, boom, boom, boom. But it all gotta make sense. Like, you can't just do something. Like with music, you can't just be dropping music. Obviously, people play the game, but you just drop it and you want to make a lot of money, noise, this and that, and that's cool. I understand that, but if it don't make sense in the end, it don't make sense. It just don't make sense. So with me, it was times where I never lost the passion of making music. It was just like, it's just a lot of other stuff to do while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I got to a point where I don't just got to focus 100% at this moment to do this because that's what people want. You feel me? Like, just like there's other shit going on. I got a lot of other fly shit, dope shit going on that makes me just as happy, and I still got the passion for the music. You feel me? Y'all just want to wait on it. That's my mindset. You feel me? But at the same time, I know I got fans, and I want to, you know what I'm saying, keep them, because they want the music too. But it's that type of relationship you got to build with your fan. My type of relationship I got with my fans, when it come, and I got different type of fan bases, different that like this type of music from me, and different that like this, and that was always a struggle. You know what I'm saying?
To be able to deliver to both markets.
Yeah, because I had that. Like when I started making singles, the motherfuckers that used to like me for mixtapes, they didn't like my single. They didn't like the concept. You feel me? The motherfuckers that like the singles, they didn't understand why I just won't make singles. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for me, cause I'm passionate about just the whole thing. Like, I like doing both. And you know what I'm saying? So I always had a struggle within my own fan base to keep both sides, which is what I figured out now, and that's why I got the 6'3" brand. You feel me? Because my 6'3" brand gonna give a certain set of fans that like this, and I'm still gonna have my Dorrough brand to get. You know what I'm saying? So that's time. You over time you figure that type stuff out. But it's good stuff. It's all in the product at the end of the day. The product is the only thing that matters. That's what people care about. How good the product is don't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? Call it the Rudy's Chicken is a place in Dallas where, you ever been to Dallas?
Yeah.
You been to Rudy's?
I don't know if I've been to Rudy's.
So Rudy's Chicken is popping chicken place. You feel me? It's just like, it's one of those you gotta go there tight spots.
Every city got a fire chicken spot.
So Rudy's is there for Dallas. And honestly, and I ain't even for to be biased, it's gonna sound biased, but I done been to every city chicken spot and it ain't fucking with Rudy's. And I ain't even saying that from Dallas, because there be some stuff that's dope in Dallas, and then you go to other cities and then you go and I'll be like, I bet it ain't gonna be, and it do be dope. I'm like, but when it come to that, nah, you ain't fucking with it. But Rudy's, this the thing with Rudy's. Rudy's got this dope ass food, chicken, this whole thing they over the years in the past, I ain't gonna speak on that. Shout out to Rudy's. I ain't putting y'all down. Y'all the best. Boom, boom, boom. They customer service was trash, but the product's so good, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It don't fucking matter. So they customer, you get cussed out. Boom, boom, boom. It's the opposite of Chick-fil-A. You feel me? Like you know what I'm saying? But the product's so good that the line still wrapped around. You willing to put up with bad customer service because the product's so good. So what did that tell you? It's about the product. Now, if you got good product and good customer service, that's even better. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But at the end of the day, motherfuckers only care about the product. That's it. The product is what motherfuckers care about, and that's how I look at music. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even matter. Like all the other stuff is cool, but motherfuckers at the end of the day care about the product.
You've lived in Dallas this whole time, even through all the traveling, whatever. You always called that home.
Dallas been the home the whole time in Cali, but I've been in LA, man, from 2012, 2013 to now. I've been back and forth. That's why my whole shit is Texafornia. That's like my concept. You know what I'm saying? My movement is Texafornia.
Right.
Dallas, LA, Houston, the Bay Area, boom, boom, boom. That's like my thing. You know what I'm saying? I spent a little time in Atlanta, a little time in New York. You know what I'm saying? But mainly Dallas and LA. You feel me?
We've seen like a crazy generation of different underground up and coming artists out of Texas over the last couple of years. Is that something that you pay a lot of attention to, or you keep your eye on what's going on in the scene like that, or is it kind of tempting to just sort of listen to the shit that you've been listening to, or be focused on your own music? How do you think
it's a
about it?
combination of all that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like with me, right? Like Dallas. If your shit popping and you doing your thing, you gonna come to the light where I'm gonna see you and vice versa. So of course boom. I don't work with a lot of the Dallas artists over, this and that, and then it's a combination with I am always in my own world. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to creating music and all that too, as most artists should be, because that's how you really boom. So it's like a mixture of all of it. It's like how I listen to music in general. Like people always be asking me who my favorite artists are and this and that. I like everybody dope music, but I don't like name an artist. If he drop an album today, I'm probably gonna find 2 or 3 songs I like, and boom, I like them 3 songs. Boom, I might listen to everything just because it come out and I get to it. I'm gonna hear it some kind of way anyway. You might be in a car with somebody, they playing it. Go to the club when the club was existing. You gonna hear it. You hear it. Just different that, and I catch the climate like that. But most of the time, musically, I'm just in my own world creating that shit. You feel me? And I catch stuff when I see it, and stuff that's meant to come my way, come my way. You know what I'm saying? But Dallas on fire though. When it comes to a lot of stuff, a lot of artists, a lot of producers, it's a special city, and I mean that for real. Yeah,
definitely. Do you feel like in terms of the history of Texas and hip hop, it feels like there's a very interesting and important new place for George Floyd in that whole history of Texas, because he was on the fucking Screw tapes. He was definitely a dude who was very much a part of that whole community for a period of time, even though he lost his life in Minneapolis. How do you feel about that, or how he's viewed? Do you see him being sort of lifted up and celebrated as a symbol of Texas in a way?
Well, yeah, that was new to me. I had when it came out that he was a rapper and that he was on the Screw tapes, and I actually, I remember I think Lil Kiki posted on his page, and that's where I saw it first. I believe,
I was so beyond shocked when I realized it was on those tapes.
Exactly. So when I seen it, I was like, oh shit, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, he really was on there. So I didn't even know that at all. So I ain't gonna lie and be like, oh, I didn't know that at all. And that did change the perspective. You know what I'm saying? Just to know, because that's a special time, that's a special culture. People can't say that they did that and was really a part of that, and it'd be a real thing.
Because anybody can say oh yeah, I was around when Screw was doing that, whatever. But to have been on the tape is that shows that you were in a very particular club at that time.
Yeah. That means he was really in that. You feel me? It wasn't no. So when I saw Lil Kiki post that, and I thought that was dope, and it made me look at the, even. Now, that bring them to a certain light. But as far as rap, that just make you say, if you from Texas, damn, homie was part of the Swisher House movement. You feel me? That's big. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that in Houston, they doing a lot to put him in that light, because he really was there at some point, obviously. You feel me? So that's more of a, that's what the OGs would do out there. That would be more them, and how it resonate with everybody else is just how it resonate. But yeah, it definitely did change a lot of perspectives. You know what I'm saying? That's another unfortunate situation. I hate that something like that got to happen. You feel me? Just for other things that like to come out, but It is what it is. But overall, it was good. I'm glad to see that the justice is happening. You know what I'm saying? And so something good came from it. At least that can be said.
Yeah, I mean, like his name's gonna go down in history as being the thing that sparked off a huge wave of change in the country either way. So
and him being attached to Texas music and switch that makes that even doper. You know what I'm saying?
It just makes us all kind of feel like we understand the type of person he was, because we all, like, you know, if you've been around Trey, if you've been around, you watch a Bun B interview or whatever, you can't help but think like this guy was the type of dude that would fit in with all these like classic Texas characters that we all love so much. If you're a hip hop fan, you know.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, 100.
Definitely. So, anything else you could tell us about the new music that's on the way or what we need to look out for?
Yeah, man. 6-3, the project, the EP, the Unlock EP. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to drop that in August. The music been done. I'm gonna be real with you. It been kind of hard to gauge it because of everything that's going on. Because I want to put it out and kind of be able to move around and like promote it, do this and that. So I just kind of been like playing it by ear. But main thing, you know, I'm finna get the single jumping right now. I got a new single called Brand New. You feel me? Shout out to goddammit Dupree, the producer. He produced a lot of my new EP. Shout out to Digi Norm. He produced a lot of my new EP that's coming out. And like I say, this is one of the things where the next time I come back, we'll be talking, because it's like the music got to speak for itself. Know the music coming, the music fire, you know what I'm saying? It's the product, you feel me? And I know that's what my fans want. And the people that's, you know, the new fans that, you know, I've been getting, they want the product. So just know that that's coming, and it's going to come at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can really say. I know a lot of people want me to say more and speak more on the music, and I really do, but it's just one of them things where, look, when the music come and you see it, it's going to happen. I got to show y'all with the music that, you feel me?
That's fire. I can't wait. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Dorrough. I appreciate your time. It's been very good to get a little bit of a history lesson and find out what's on the way.
Yeah. I appreciate that. 100.
Yeah, thanks so much. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Like, comment, subscribe. NoJumper.com if you want support. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Yo, what up? It's your homie Dorrough Music, a.k.a. 6'3". Make sure y'all go like, comment, and subscribe. Go check me out on Instagram, S63.